Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Janabala Girdharadhari. Yashoda Nandana Braja Janarandana. Yamuna Gira Manachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Gopi Jana Balaba Yashoda Nandana Braja Janarandana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Prabhupada ki. Go Premanandi. Today we are celebrating the Chip Rice Festival as described in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So this festival is highly authorized. And the immersion in the prasad distribution and prasad tasting is also highly authorized. Devotional service, as you know, begins with what? The tongue. Vibrating the holy name of Krishna and tasting food that is offered to Krishna. This particular festival was instigated by Lord Nityananda himself. And as a result of the instigation by Lord Nityananda, the mercy of Lord Chaitanya descended. So we want to focus on that tonight. But surrounding and including the mercy of Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya is the mercy of the Vaishnavas. So Raghunath Das was born in an exceedingly wealthy family. His parents were so wealthy that practically every Brahmana in Nadia, in the district of Nadia, was dependent on the charity from Raghunath Das's father and uncle. Their wealth was so abundant. As a little boy, Raghunath Das associated with Haridas Thakur, the Nam Acharya, the Acharya of the Holy Name. And as he was growing up, he would go to Shantipur, to the home of Advaita Acharya. And there, when Mahaprabhu was visiting, Raghunath Das would get the remnants of Lord Chaitanya, arranged by Advaita Acharya, because Raghunath Das's father and uncle were very dedicated servants of Advaita Acharya, and so Advaita Acharya arranged that the young Raghunath Das, the son and the nephew, would get the remnants of Mahaprabhu's meals. So this is how things work. The mercy of the Vaishnavas, the mercy of Lord Nityananda, Lord Chaitanya, all combining together. Chaitanya Charitamrita introduces you to the whole picture, the whole panorama, so you can see the interactivity between the Vaishnavas, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and how the mercy circulates. So we should be very eager to understand that divine phenomena. As you know, elsewhere in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the verse is there, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. By the combined mercy of Guru and Krishna, you get the seed of devotional service, which sprouts into a plant. Raghunath Das Goswami, although born in such a wealthy family, ever since a little kid was indifferent to all that wealth. He simply wanted the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Whenever he got news that Lord Chaitanya was in the area, Raghunath Das would take off to be with Mahaprabhu again and again. He heard Lord Chaitanya is going to be in Puri. Immediately, Raghunath Das would take off. Each time he took off, ran away, his father, who was so wealthy, had a whole team of guardians to bring Raghunath back. In fact, his father surrounded Raghunath Das at home with 11 people checking on him. That's how wealthy his father was. 4 personal servants, 2 brahmanas to cook for him, and 5 bodyguards. So it was very difficult for Raghunath Das to get away. He kept running away to join Mahaprabhu, and his father's immense wealth and personal armies would bring Raghunath Das back. One time he got news, Raghunath Das got news, Mahaprabhu is in Puri. So he got away to Puri. Actually, got the news he was in Shantipur before going to Puri. And depressed, he presented himself to Mahaprabhu. I keep wanting to be with you, but my father keeps dragging me back home. Lord Chaitanya told him something very important. Why are you acting so thoughtlessly, non-strategically, non-tactfully? Yes, you want to cross the ocean of material existence, but you have to do that very intelligently, very strategically. Just like someone drops you in the ocean, you have to have a plan how to make it to the other shore. You can't just thrash about and show your enthusiasm by thrashing about. You have to have a vision, a plan, a strategy, how to make it to the other side. So Lord Chaitanya told Raghunath Das, keep a cool head. Think clearly. This is a very important instruction for us in our journey back to Godhead. We have to be tactful, strategic, be very patient, be very tolerant. Just a sudden flurry of activity in bhakti, not sustainable. It's not the best thing. We have to plan how I'm going to make it to the end. How to best use this life. That takes consultation with Guru and Krishna. We take the advice, the counsel of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his representatives for how to strategically swim across the ocean of material existence according to our particular situation. So you might say, well, if I were in Raghunath Das's situation with all that wealth, no problem, I'd stay at home. But Raghunath Das was totally and naturally indifferent to it. He just wanted the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Lord Chaitanya told them, stop acting so in an eccentric way. Krishna's mercy will come. Be patient and be determined. So Lord Chaitanya told Raghunath Das something very interesting, which Srila Prabhupada in his purport says applies to all devotees who are working in the world. He explains that you can be in this world, doing your job, being with your family, externally looking the same as everyone else, but internally, your consciousness is totally different. What are you thinking internally? How to satisfy Krishna and spread his glories. So externally, you may look like you're working just like other person's working. You have a home just like other persons have a home. You have a family like others have a family. But inside, a different fire is burning, which transforms your whole consciousness. So this is what Lord Chaitanya told Raghunath Das. Go back home and act like you're fully into material life, externally. But inside, always be meditating on service to Radha and Krishna. And for us, that service to Radha and Krishna begins by serving Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the gateway, the portal to serving Radha and Krishna. Because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Radha, Krishna combined. So Raghunath Das went home and satisfied his family, his parents, by acting like he was totally attentive to material. In fact, he wasn't acting, he was totally attentive to the material affairs of his father and the home. So, what was the result of that? His parents slackened the guard. Remember, Lord Chaitanya didn't tell him simply, go home and act like you're a materialist. He said, go home, and in time, a plan for you to escape will manifest. So in other words, Lord Chaitanya is telling him, be progressive. Not just go home, stay there, and that's it. Go home, externally look like you're totally into material affairs. In time, a plan will manifest for you to escape. In time, Krishna will arrange something. So go home and be proactive. Not go home and that's it. We have to see the whole picture, because we may tend to think Lord Chaitanya is giving him permission. Just go home, be a materialist, it's all right. Be a materialist and say it's all for Krishna. No, go home. Externally act like you're really into the material affairs, but always be thinking and praying how to get Krishna's mercy, how to spread Krishna's glories, how to satisfy Krishna. That mindset will attract intelligence from Krishna, who says in Bhagavad Gita, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayanti te. For those who are constantly devoted to me with priti, with affection, I personally give them intelligence how to come to me. So Raghunath Das, he did that. And as we said, he played the role so perfectly, helping out in his father's business affairs, getting his father and uncle out of a jam because they got into some financial difficulty with the Muslim government. And the Muslim government sent someone to the home of Raghunath Das to arrest his father and uncle, who were not there. So Raghunath Das was arrested instead. But just like Sanatana Goswami, Raghunath Das knew, he was materially expert. He knew how to get out of the jam. He began talking sweetly to the Muslim official. You're very close to my father. You're very close to my uncle. You're like brothers. And you know, sometimes brothers fight. Sometimes they quarrel. It can happen out of nowhere and end out of nowhere. Let's not take this so seriously. Especially you. You are well versed in the Shastra. You're practically a living saint. Tears were gliding down the Muslim official's face, wetting his beard. All right, I'll let you go. But please, talk to your father and uncle and let them cut me in on some of the money. I won't specify how much, but just mention to them that they should be kind to me. And so Raghunath Das engineered the whole patching up of the situation. So you can imagine his father and uncle would be very pleased with him. Yes, he's turning out to be such a great wheeler dealer. Now his father and uncle were no spiritual slouches. They would host gatherings, home programs attended by Haridas Thakur. So it's not that they were just materialistic rascals. No, they were very devout. But Raghunath Das aspired for a higher level of devotional intensity. That's why he kept trying to run away. But now he's at home playing the role of an attentive business person, but always looking for when that plan from Krishna will manifest. Always thinking about Lord Chaitanya's instruction. When will that time come? How can I spread the glories of Krishna? How can I satisfy Krishna? So we should think about that. What's our goal? What's in our heart? What's driving us onward? Raghunath Das had the idea, let me approach Lord Nityananda. So remember, as a child he had the blessings of Haridas Thakur. As a child he had the blessings of Lord Chaitanya in terms of remnants. Now, as an adult, he wants the mercy of Lord Nityananda. So he goes to find Lord Nityananda, who's sitting on the bank of the Ganga on a big rock with an effulgence more than 1 million suns. Can't imagine that. Raghunath Das pays his obeisances from afar. He's naturally so humble. He won't just rush right up to Lord Nityananda. While he's paying his obeisances from afar, Lord Nityananda calls out, "Who is that thief? Who is that thief? Bring that thief closer. He's a thief because he's staying far away. Bring him closer." So Raghunath Das comes closer. And Lord Nityananda tells him, because you are a thief, you must undergo atonement. What is the atonement? Make a big festival for everyone. Invite all my associates. Chip rice festival. Flat rice soaked in milk, and also flat rice, chip rice soaked in condensed milk, kheer. Do that. Invite everyone. So Raghunath Das, with his wealth, immediately arranged for all the merchants in the villages nearby to start bringing huge quantities of sugar, milk, bananas, rice to make the festival. Everyone from miles around was coming to the festival. The important devotees would sit on the same platform as Nityananda. Others would sit around the platform of Nityananda. Others they couldn't find any room. They sat on the bank of the river. Then it turned out there was no room on the bank of the river, so they sat in the river. And Raghunath Das has arranged to feed them all. This is the famous chip rice festival at Panihati. What happens when they needed more food? Raghunath Das would buy more from the merchants who were bringing all their wares, all their food supplies. Yes, here it is. Buy it. He would buy it and then make the chip rice and feed it to the same merchants from whom he bought the food from. It was a very hilarious situation. In the middle of this festival, as Lord Nityananda was eating prasad, Lord Nityananda in meditation brings Lord Chaitanya. Very few can see this. Someone was asking me today, have you seen Krishna? I told them, why you put so much emphasis on the eyes? Have you heard Krishna? Have you tasted Krishna? Seeing Krishna is a whole spectrum of intensity. If someone says, Rasaham apsu kaunteya, Krishna's a taste of water. So when you drink water and think, that's Krishna, you're seeing Krishna. Wait a minute, so there's a whole spectrum of intensity. Krishna says, I'm the light of the sun and the moon. Prabhasmi, Shashi Surya. If you see the light of the sun and think, that's Krishna, you're seeing Krishna. Now, it may not be the same intensity of seeing Krishna as an associate of Lord Chaitanya, but still, undeniably, you are seeing Krishna. So very few could actually see Lord Chaitanya. And what would happen is that Nityananda would take some food and put it in the mouth of Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya would take some food and put it in the mouth of Lord Nityananda. But the people at the festival could only see Lord Nityananda, and they were wondering, what is he doing? They couldn't see Lord Chaitanya. Very few saw that. Why was Lord Chaitanya there? Because Lord Nityananda was giving his mercy to Raghunath Das, which brought about the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the next day, Raghunath Das, after the festival, the day after, went to see Lord Nityananda, and begged, please, please, give me the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. I want to be his associate. I want to be with him. I keep trying to get out of home, and every time I'm caught, I'm dragged back to home. Lord Nityananda told him, because you've done this festival, very soon the mercy of Lord Chaitanya will be upon you. Lord Nityananda told him, first get the blessings of all these Vaishnavas here. Once Raghunath Das did that, then Lord Nityananda said, all right, I take my feet and put them on your head. And Lord Nityananda told him, because of you, Lord Chaitanya came yesterday to the festival. So this is Raghunath Das. So indifferent to material enjoyment and so focused on the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda. This indifference to material enjoyment is necessary for advancement in bhakti. Indifference to material enjoyment means use what you need in Krishna's service. Don't neglect that. And don't connect with what is not necessary for Krishna's service. So you can make a mistake either way. You can neglect to use something that should be used in Krishna's service, and you can interact with something that's not related for Krishna's pleasure. So the test is always, how is Krishna the enjoyer of this? So Raghunath Das was meant to be the pinnacle of renunciation. We're not asked to live like Raghunath Das lived when he finally joined Lord Chaitanya. He was so austere. We're simply asked, chant at least 16 rounds a day, follow the 4 rules, engage in Krishna's service. By doing that, you'll become indifferent to material life if you actually follow the bhakti yoga process carefully. Out of that bhakti process comes 2 things, jnana and vairagya, knowledge and detachment. So by hearing how Raghunath Das so skillfully mastered his situation, how he uses intelligence, uses patience, uses tolerance, uses material skills to eventually make his getaway. That should teach us something about how to cross the ocean of material existence. You can't cross that ocean thrashing about. You have to be very deliberative, very careful, very strategic. Thinking deeply how to be progressive in your bhakti. Remember, Lord Chaitanya did not tell Raghunath Das, just go home, stay there. He told him, be progressive, but here's how to be progressive. Do your material affairs very expertly, but in your heart, you're somewhere else. How can you do that? By letting Krishna be the enjoyer of all the fruits of activity. Whatever we do, we think, who is enjoying the results? Who is profiting? Because we're acting in this world for results. We're using our bodies to achieve something. So you have to question yourself. What are you trying to achieve with your body? At our Bhakti hotspot in central London called Studio 108. I was leading a discussion before my talk last week or the week before. I asked the people, what are you trying to achieve with your body? They were astonished at such a question. I said, you have this body? Are you satisfied with your body? Body dissatisfaction is quite common. Are you comfortable in your own skin? What are you trying to achieve? What do you want to do with your body? Oh, we never thought about that. With my body, I'm doing things, and I should have goals for what to do with my body? So Raghunath Das knew what he's doing. And as instructed by Lord Chaitanya, he bided his time. And bear in mind, he had very devoted parents. They just weren't of the same level of intensity in their renunciation as Raghunath Das wanted. As I said, his parents hosted meetings with Haridas Thakur to explain the glories of the holy name. But Raghunath Das was meant for a much higher level of intensity in bhakti. So Lord Chaitanya told him, don't be so eccentric. Think carefully, make a gradual plan, while always in your heart, maintaining the goal that you want. In time, Krishna will reveal how you can get his mercy. In time, you'll be able to escape. Krishna will show you that in time. In other words, be patient. But don't just be at a standstill. Be patient while being progressive. So we need to look at our life and see, am I making progress? Maybe you have the lifestyle of a strict Vedantist. Anyone here like that? Or maybe you have the lifestyle of a working person in the office, in a corporate situation, at the university. But in either case, internally, we always think, how am I going to satisfy Krishna? How am I going to spread Krishna's glories? That kind of consciousness transforms your whole situation. So Srila Prabhupada in his purports to Lord Chaitanya instructing Raghunath Das in that way says, this is how to do it. If you're in the world, apparently doing ordinary affairs, internally you're completely different. So this festival of chip rice has become celebrated because of the mercy of Lord Nityananda, the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. That mercy is a team. Sometimes in the Shastra it is said that by the mercy of Lord Nityananda you get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, and sometimes it says the reverse. By the mercy of Lord Chaitanya you can see the need for Lord Nityananda's mercy. So you know the famous prayer by Narottam Das Thakur. Arkabe nitai chanda karuna hoibe samsara vasna mora kabe dukcha habe. When will I get Lord Nityananda's mercy so that my material desires will shrink to insignificance? Kabe dukcha habe. That means, as I often explain, a situation like a fly lands on your shoulder. Happens all the time here in Gita Nagari, right? A fly lands on your shoulder. Do you fall to pieces? Oh my God, a fly landed on my shoulder. What am I going to do? My whole life is smashed. No, you don't even pay attention, or else you flick it away. Just move your shoulder. So Narottam Das Thakur is praying, when will my material desires be that insignificant? So Lord Chaitanya shows the need for Lord Nityananda's mercy. And by the mercy of Lord Nityananda, you see more clearly the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. So a devotee who is determined to make progress is very keen on pleasing Lord Nityananda, Lord Chaitanya. They're Krishna and Balaram coming to give Krishna away to everyone. If you don't know, if you're not attached to Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, it'll be very difficult for you to attain Krishna. Very difficult to understand Radha Krishna Leela and enter into Radha Krishna Leela without the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda. Therefore, one great Acharya, Prabodhananda Saraswati, says that the more you serve Gauranga, the more Srimati Radharani's lotus feet become revealed to you. By Dasya Prem, Dasaras, servitude to Lord Chaitanya, that's the portal that brings you to Srimati Radharani's lotus feet. So this is how important it is for us to have a progressive plan. Not how just to stay in the rut. Jokingly, Lord Chaitanya would criticize Raghunath Das's father and uncle, even though they're Vaishnavas. Lord Chaitanya is still, in a joking way, criticized. They're stuck in a ditch. They're not being progressive. Yeah, they're serving so many Vaishnavas and giving so much charity, but in other words, what's their plan for moving forward to a deeper level of intensity? But Lord Chaitanya is joking. But he's joking in a way that has educational benefit for everyone else. Don't be stuck in a rut. Have a plan to move forward. Take action to move forward. Know how to grab the time, shake it, and push ahead. So that's what Raghunath Das did. He wasn't at home simply festering, simply languishing. He was waiting and watching with a burning desire in his heart. How am I going to satisfy Krishna? How am I going to spread Krishna's glories? So as you're tasting the prasad tonight, remember the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda. Make your plan. Could be a 5-year plan, it could be a 10-year plan, it could be a 1-year plan. How in spite of external circumstances, in your heart is this desire to serve Krishna and a readiness for Krishna's instruction, how to move forward. Sometimes you don't know what to do except chant Hare Krishna. There's nothing wrong with that. Chant Hare Krishna and wait for some indication how to move forward. So sometimes it seems like, should I turn right? Should I turn left? Just like when Prabhupada landed on the boat in New York, on the Jaladuta, he walked off the boat, and he said he had no reason whether to turn right or turn left. Both were equally unknown. So sometimes it's like that for us in our tiny way. What should I do? Should I do this? Should I do that? Chant Hare Krishna. There's no law against that. And gradually the right idea can come to you. Consult the senior Vaishnavas. Consult the spiritual master. Be progressive. Don't be like a dead duck in the water. Bhakti is dynamic. So what happened when Raghunath Das finally was able to get away from home? Remember, his parents had tried everything to keep him from running away. His mother complained to his father, "Do something, do something. He's become mad after Mahaprabhu's mercy. Do something." What could the poor man say? He told her, "What can I do? I've given him so much wealth. I've given him a beautiful wife. If that doesn't tie someone up, I don't know what will." He's a madman for Lord Chaitanya. What can I do? I've done my best. I've done my best to tie him down. So finally, Raghunath Das saw a moment to escape. The guard had slackened. He was able to get out of the house. What happened was his spiritual master came in the middle of the night, Yadunandanacharya, and said, "I've got a pujari problem in my temple." Happens everywhere. My head pujari is taken off somewhere. We've got no one to do the deity puja to replace him. Can you please come with me to convince the head pujari to come back? As I said, common problem. So Raghunath Das said, "Yeah, I'll go with you. We'll go to the home of this head pujari. We'll drag him back." That meant what? Raghunath Das had a legitimate reason to get out of the house. Because all the guards were asleep. It was middle of the night, or else they were thinking, it's Yadunandanacharya, the guru. Yeah, Raghunath will be all right with him. He's not going anywhere. So as soon as they got out of sight of the house, Raghunath Das turns to Yadunandanacharya and says, "Okay, I'll go alone to take care of the pujari." And so Yadunandanacharya says, "Oh, sure, fine." And of course, Raghunath Das immediately takes off. But he can't go on the main roads. He has to go through the jungle. Because if he goes on the main roads, what happens? His father sends an army after him, his own personal army. So he's going through the jungle, through all the bush. According to accounts, Raghunath Das walked on the first day 30 miles. It took him 13 days to reach Jagannath Puri. And he only stopped for eating 3 times. He was so focused on getting the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. That's how determined he was. And when the morning came and his father and uncle realized he's gone, what did they do? They sent out their army. They thought, Raghunath Das is going with the devotees from Navadvip to Puri. So the men that were sent by Raghunath Das's father caught up with the party from Navadvip going to Puri to see Lord Chaitanya and said, "Where is he? Where is he?" "We don't know." Because Raghunath Das was going his own solitary way through the jungle, not on the main road. So the devotees from Navadvip told these bodyguards, "He's not with us. Look, you don't see him. We don't know where he is." That's the truth. So in that way, Raghunath Das got away finally to be with Lord Chaitanya. So any questions? It's a very important subject matter, how to swim over the ocean of material existence, not just thrashing about. You have to be intelligent, you have to be skillful, resourceful, taking advice and guidance, how to make it to the other side. Yes?
Some people, it seems like, are better at being self-aware, figuring out. I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say that I've noticed that some people are really self-aware, just in general, and that can apply to their spiritual progress too. And they can kind of see the ocean and strategically think about it. And other folks get stuck. You know what I mean? They don't really have that ability to generate those kind of ideas. What would you advise for those folks?
Get some guidance.
Right.
Bhakti is a guidance culture. The more guidance you have in bhakti, the more wealthy you are. Jai Shri Shri Radha Damodar. Raghunath Das got guidance from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, and he had the blessings of so many Vaishnavas. When Lord Chaitanya gave him an instruction, he took it very seriously. He went home and helped his father's business so expertly. All right? Yes.
Thank you for coming, and thank you for being with us. You mentioned that we should make plans, whether that is 1 year, 5 years, or 10 years, to gradually being able to absorb the consciousness that how can I constantly please Krishna internally. Can you give some example of what the plan looked like 1 year or 5 years?
I was talking to one devotee, up-and-coming devotee from New York today. So we went over a plan, how she could increase her chanting to get to the minimum dosage of 16 rounds. So she was very excited to have a plan. Incremental increase. I complimented her on her beginning to chant, told her she's doing much better than I did when I began. You know, I was chanting 1 beat a day. The point is 2 things. We need detachment from material existence and attachment to Krishna. Make your plan based around those 2 things. Jnana and Vairagya. Bhakti is a train that runs on 2 rails. Jnana and Vairagya. Knowledge and detachment. It's not just about detachment, it's also about attachment to Krishna. So we should make a plan. How to increase our detachment from the material energy, material affairs. And we should make a plan how to increase our knowledge of Krishna so that we can be more attached to Krishna. So you all make plans. I know that you have career plans, marriage plans, travel plans. Why not plans about how to become progressively detached from matter and attached to Krishna? Everyone needs that kind of planning. So we can take that much from the example of Raghunath Das. Remember, Lord Chaitanya told him, don't just thrash about in the ocean of material existence. Be patient, be sober-minded, think carefully. And Krishna will give you the intelligence. Gradually, Krishna will reveal how you can make your step forward. But always be progressive. Don't be like a dead duck in the water. Sometimes the material energy overpowers us, seemingly, and we just think, I'm just stuck. Nothing I can do. Oh, my situation. Oh. Just like Arjuna in chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita. He was stuck, wasn't he? Oh, Krishna, all my options are bleak. Whether I fight or I don't fight, whether I win, whether I lose. Oh, Govinda, I shall not fight. He was stuck, like a dead duck in the water. And Krishna told him, get moving, get going. Mama Nusmra Yudjam Cha, fight and think of me. Not just fight, but fight and think of me. So Bhagavad Gita is about action in Krishna consciousness. Take advice, have a plan, how to move forward. No matter what your situation, whether you're young, old, in between, be progressive, be dynamic. Yes.
If I understood correctly,
if I understood correctly, Raghunath was meant for a certain intensity of bhakti, but not his parents. Was that because of his own desire and his own choice, or was that because of something else?
He's an eternally liberated soul. In the spiritual world, he's Rati Manjari, assistant of Srimati Radharani. Still, he's showing us by example. Become detached from material existence. He's meant to show us the brightest example of that, so that we can at least, according to our measure, follow in his footsteps. Can't imitate Raghunath Das Goswami in terms of his level of renunciation as described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. But you can take inspiration from how he handled his situation under the instruction of Lord Chaitanya. You can take inspiration from that. But we don't expect you to suddenly leave your home and walk 31 miles in one day and eat 3 times in 12 days and arrive at the temple, I'm here. Yes.
Thank you so much, Guru. You described the feeling of being anxious to do more for Krishna, more devotional service. And I pray if you would tell us, do you still feel that anxiousness to do more for Krishna, or is it just those of us who are struggling with our material attachments?
Anxiousness to please Krishna simply increases. If you're truly moving ahead in bhakti, that anxiousness to please Krishna increases. Just like in the spiritual world, Mother Yashoda is always anxious about her child Krishna. Whose house is he breaking into now? Whose butter is he stealing now? What's wrong with the butter in my own home? She's always in anxiety, but that's 100% Satchidananda anxiety. That's the perfection of anxiety. The gopis are in anxiety. Where is Krishna? He hasn't shown up for the rendezvous. So our goal is not freedom from anxiety. Our goal is freedom from material anxiety. But at the highest level of the spiritual world, there's loads of anxiety, but it's 100% pure. It's 100% blissful. Blissful anxiety. And you can sample that spiritual anxiety in your outreach activities. you're thinking, how to spread Lord Chaitanya's mission. Oh no, what if this happens? Our preaching will be stopped. What if that happens? This is anxiety, right? How's the rent going to be paid next month? Will it be like the devotees in the second temple of Prabhupada's in San Francisco? They didn't know how to pay the rent for the coming month. A few $100s, they couldn't pay the rent. So as they were walking from their apartment to the storefront where the temple was, 4 a.m. in the morning, money starts blowing down the street at them. And they collected it, they ran and got all the money, and it turned out to be exactly how much they had to pay for the rent. So you're waiting for that, huh? The money to come. Waiting for the money to come blowing down the street. It may happen. It may not. So this is anxiety. I know in one lecture, Srila Prabhupada was, how do you say? He's uplifting the devotees, showing them that Krishna cares. He said, Krishna knows your headaches in trying to spread his mission. He knows your headaches. He knows all about your headaches. And what's the reward for your headaches in spreading Lord Chaitanya's mission? He explained, your reward is taste for hearing and chanting Srimad Bhagavatam. That's your reward for taking on headaches for pleasing Lord Chaitanya. So don't neglect your reward. Yes. If you're way in the back, it's hard for me to, if you have your hand raised, it's hard for me to see because I don't have my distance glasses on. But, yes?
I was thinking Raghunath was called Thief by Nityananda, and I was just wondering why.
Raghunath is keeping himself away from Nityananda. Nityananda wants to give him his mercy. You thief! You're stealing my opportunity. But Raghunath Das is thinking, I'm so fallen, I don't want to come near. And Lord Nityananda is thinking, bring your wonderful, pure devotional self to me. You're keeping yourself away from me. You're a thief. Okay?
So good to see you and hear from you. I was wondering, how can we, or what can we do to get the mercy of Lord Nityananda and the Vaishnavas that Srila Raghunath Das was talking to?
Beg for it. Does everyone here know how to beg? I don't think so. To be a beggar is considered very lowly. But in spiritual life, it's considered to be most exalted. So don't be too proud to beg.
Raghunath Das was extremely focused on receiving Lord Chaitanya's mercy. So what is Lord Chaitanya's mercy? What is it that he was so adamant to receive?
What is so what?
What is it that he was so intensely desiring to receive from Lord Chaitanya?
Lord Chaitanya's mercy is ecstatic love of Krishna. He's Krishna giving Krishna away. Something Krishna himself won't do except as Lord Chaitanya. Giving away love of Krishna. When you read Anchalila and Chaitanya Charitamrita, you see Lord Chaitanya demonstrating the height of love of Krishna and separation. Raghunath Das Goswami is also known as the Prayojana Acharya, the Acharya demonstrating the most intimate relationships with Krishna. So you have Sanatana Goswami, he's known as the Siddhanta Acharya. He teaches the conclusions that you are the eternal servant of Krishna. Then there's Rupa Goswami, he's the Rasa Acharya. He teaches the flavors of loving relationships with Krishna. And then Raghunath Das is the Prayojana Acharya. He's teaching the most intimate affairs of Radha and Krishna and their assistants. Then you have Haridas Thakur. He's revealing the glories of the holy name. And he's also revealing tolerance. He was persecuted for preaching the glories of the holy name. All these different key associates of Lord Chaitanya are teaching a different lesson. So Raghunath Das, his special contribution is revealing the intimate glories of the assistance of Srimati Radharani.
I'm wondering, they say that though Raghunath was ready to give up everything because he kept running away. So
Seems like he was what?
he was already in the mood of giving up everything because he kept running away.
Yes.
So
But his father had the resources to drag him back.
so he had to go back each time, and then his instructions was to learn his detachment. So my question is, how is it? Well, my question is, was he not able to see these shortcomings in himself? And how can we recognize these shortcomings within our own self to make progress? Like, we may think like we're ready, we keep running and running, but there's still some more progress. So how can we recognize that within our own selves also?
That's why we have a spiritual master. You have one, don't you?
I go,
And you're surrounded by the Vaishnavas, right?
I go.
Okay. The more guidance you have, the wealthier you are. So Raghunath Das did take guidance. He got guidance personally from Lord Chaitanya. And he did everything right. He got the mercy of the Vaishnavas. He got the mercy of Lord Nityananda. He staged this huge festival for all the Vaishnavas. Remember? So many people, they couldn't fit on the land. They were on the riverbank. They couldn't fit on the riverbank. They're in the water. Can you imagine a festival like that here where people have to sit out on the creek there in the water eating their chipped rice? Such a huge event it was. And it attracted the attention of Lord Chaitanya, who came unmanifest. Lord Chaitanya appears in his expansion, unmanifest expansion, in what places? Wherever Nityananda dances, wherever Srivas Thakur has kirtan in his home, whenever Mother Sachi is offering food in her home, and wherever Raghava Pandit is cooking, Lord Chaitanya always appears. So I believe we're supposed to have some kirtan. Last question.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. My question is regarding Lord Chaitanya's instructions to Raghunath Das Goswami
regarding these instructions of being externally detached and internally attached to service of Krishna, in a progressive manner, is this like a cognitive definition from Lord Chaitanya as
Is this a what definition?
like a cognitive
Committed?
overall definition of
Cumulative.
there you go. Is it basically a definition from Lord Chaitanya of indirect devotional service, or is it all direct devotional service because internally the intention is?
But Raghunath Das, his home was a temple. It's not like he was doing no service while waiting to run away. His father and uncle, they were Vaishnavas, always giving charity, supporting every Brahmana in the whole. It's like saying someone supporting all the Brahmanas in a county. And there were lots of them at that time. So it's not like there was no devotional service going on in his home. But he wanted to display the pinnacle of renunciation. But the advice Lord Chaitanya gave him is good for everyone. Not just the future Raghunath Das's. Are you a future Raghunath Das?
I don't think so.
Come on. I asked you to cut I asked if you would consider cutting your hair, and you looked at me like, ooh. This price for bhakti is too high. All right, we'll end it there. Hare Krishna, let's have kirtan.